After the launch of the Pixel Fold, I wanted to see what Google could do with the Fold, so I placed an order. Ooh! I was pretty excited about the phone delivery. I unboxed it excitedly, turned it on excitedly, and tried to copy my data from my S22 Ultra to the Pixel Fold, and then I hit the first wall. I tried copying my data with a cable, but that did not work. So I tried another cable, which also did not work. And then I decided to go wireless. From the way the beginning of this video is going, you can tell wireless did not work either. I tried the wireless process over 5 times, which also involved restarting the Pixel Fold quite a few times before it finally started copying. Now, bear in mind I had quite a huge amount of data on my previous device. This wireless process was going to take 6 hours to complete. But at some point, this process of copying got stuck. I had to stop the process and use what data it had already copied, as I was tired of wasting my time and energy on this situation and decided I was better off using the device like that. And due to me stopping this copying process, the backup of my messages did not restore, quite a few apps did not restore. But I must say, from the get-go after I started using the device, I was impressed by the amount of work Google put into this Pixel Fold. The notch that I thought was going to be a problem was never a problem. The device looks well made, but I must say, it is a fingerprint magnet on all sides. The display looks absolutely lovely, but not as bright as I would have wanted it to be. What you have to remember is this is a Fold with a 5.8-inch cover display and a 7.6-inch main display with a peak brightness of 1450 nits. The Pixel Fold has this highly reflective screen which makes the phone look dimmer than it should be. There was the part when I was just trying to record something outside, and for the life of me, I just could not see the phone screen. I'll try and pop that video so you can see how frustrated I sound. Drag it, I think. Can't even see anything. The screen has got to be brighter than this, doesn't it? In that clip right there. However, as I continue to use the phone, I noticed a shift in how I used the device as a foldable, because when you have a foldable device and you have a phone that doesn't fold, your usage characteristics changes, right? If you're on the Z Fold 4, what you tend to do is open up the phone to, use the larger screen. But the way I used the Pixel Fold was folded most of the time, which surprised me because of other folds. I always defaulted to the bigger screen, but the inverse is true with the Pixel Fold. I always default to the smaller screen. Then if I wanted to do something, bigger, I wanted to watch a video or I wanted to play a game, then I opened up the device, but I was perfectly fine using it in its folded mode. In its folded mode, I can use one hand for this device, which I could not manage on the Z Fold 4. And when you unfold it, you get this gloriously expanded screen that allows you to view websites and other apps in their full form. Some of these apps would be Netflix, Google Weather apps, MovieBase, Notion, Gmail, and you can go on and on. When going for a Pixel device, you are banking on it being one of the best software in the device, and that would be correct. You can tell Google really worked on the Pixel Fold software, its optimizations, and how it handles various apps in the folded mode, in the unfolded mode, and in split mode. We still have some apps that are not ready for a larger screen, but this will be on the developers. The Pixel 4 hits a lot of good points and hits a few bad points on the way up. The good point will be the phone, when opened up, allows you a better video viewing area compared to the Z Fold 4. And a bad point will be it gets quite warm doing mundane things such as watching a YouTube video, and the area that gets warm is right next to the camera on the back. Let's talk about some more bad points before we jump into the good. While enjoying immersive content, the volume is quite low. Now, this phone being a content machine, I was surprised that the volume was quite on the low side for me. Now, this might be an isolated issue that affects my device alone, but to hear clearly what is being said, I will need to increase the volume to over 70% in my estimation. And I think it lower than that, and the voice sometimes becomes inaudible. You can actually tell someone is speaking on the device, if not that you can see the video playing.
People will not switch to it. In fact, the moment that big phones in general started to take off in around 2011, 2012, phones like this that you can completely use in one hand. Apple's like, no, it's twice to make it even further. They introduced it. That phone's easier, but actually, where now with the iPhone 14s, they just decided to forget the smaller menu. We're going to instead when you say plus, which is the idea of something more manageable. The internet collectively lost their marbles when the iPhone 12 mini was first unveiled. Plus, that phone consistently scored between 4.5.
The Pixel Fold is water resistant at a depth of 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes in fresh water. Note that this does not cover sand and dust. Sand or dust will damage the hinge. One of the merits of the device being a fold is you're allowed to, fold your device or prop it up in a way that allows you to view the screen at various angles. As you know, with Pixel phones, the cameras are one of the things you want to take a look at to experience and see if there have been changes from the previous version. So I started using the camera, and when I opened up the camera and looked through the viewfinder, I was absolutely mortified with what I was seeing on the viewfinder, as the images were grainy and blurry in some cases. The images on the viewfinder were so bad that I took out my S22 Ultra just to look at the same image through the viewfinder, just to make sure I wasn't going to be needing glasses, because if it looked that bad on the S22 Ultra, I needed to visit an optician. But when I put out the S22 Ultra, the viewfinder was crispy clean. I decided I was going to take those pictures hand in hand, the Pixel Fold and the S22 Ultra, just so when I got home I could take a look at the images and try and figure out what was going on. When I got home and looked at the pictures from the Pixel Fold, my jaw hit the floor. My jaw hit the floor because of the absolute chasm in difference between what I saw on the viewfinder and the photos it took. It was night and day. For video recording, you get Full HD at 30 or 60 frames per second, or auto mode, which allows you to switch between. However, if you moved up to 4K, you only get 30 or 60 frames per second. The auto mode does not apply to the 4K resolution. And when you switch to pictures, you're allowed to switch between full resolution and medium resolution. It's way too early to speak on the battery, but I will show you how long it has lasted, and you can come to your conclusions. Based on my first impressions, this is a really good device with quirks, some of which can be fixed with an update and some others which will be based on your preference. But the jury's still out on the battery, the warmth of the Pixel Fold, and damage insurance, if any, for certain countries, because I certainly don't have any coverage if this phone damages, which is going to be one of the main factors that will decide if I will be returning this device. Because I thought to myself, before the phone is released, maybe Google would have put certain things in place to allow me be protected, as not only is this a first generation device, it is a foldable device, and foldable devices tend to, have screen issues after 1 year. These are the things which I'll discuss in my Pixel Fold review and quite a bit more. Let me know what questions you have so I can try to answer them with the review. And definitely subscribe for more content like this. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.